We're on Cloud 9, high on life, high on Hurricane Ridge.
Coming to Olympic National Park in Washington and driving Hurricane Ridge Road, you are watching the right video. If you're like me, you're probably wondering, is it worth visiting? Absolutely, and I'll show you why in this next few minutes. The drive here is straightforward, not too far from Seattle, and takes you into the heart of those scenic mountains forming Seattle's backdrop. Here, you feel like you're in the Swiss Alps. I'm going to cover the scenic drive up from sea level to over 5,000 feet, a detailed look at the summit experience with a hike, and a bonus section on Lake Crescent, a glacial lake so scenic that you don't want to miss, and much more starting now. We made this drive up in March, but you can visit Olympic National Park year-round. But do be sure to check for road conditions before making the drive to Hurricane Ridge. Click in the description below for the official Olympic National Park site for up-to-date road conditions. While the road can close in the summer due to construction, it's more likely that there will be unpredictable conditions leading to road closures during the winter months. For example, when I visited, they only opened the roads on weekends, and certain months when the snowfall is higher, the road was closed to the public for over a month.
It's hailing, guys, here on Hurricane Ridge Road.
In the winter months, you'll probably need to bring snow chains. Even though you don't need to install them most of the time, having them on board your car is mandatory. Let's talk directions. If you want to jump ahead to the summit experience, click on this timestamp. Coming from Seattle, take the car ferry for Bainbridge Island across Puget Sound. This cuts off 40 minutes off your drive. Pause the video here to get a closer look at the directions. If you choose not to take the ferry, it's an hour detour south towards Tacoma, but this route generally has heavier traffic and you feel less tired taking the ferry instead of adding another 50 miles each way.
Probably the best way to get across the Puget Sound.
The ferry is super scenic, giving you breathtaking views of Seattle's skyline. Riding the Seattle ferry was such a pleasant experience, I made a full video about it. Check out the link below to see how you can bring your family and car aboard the ferry to Hurricane Ridge. From the ferry, the rest of your drive is scenic. Passing through beautiful Kitsap and Olympic peninsulas, it's a slower pace of life out here. We get on Hurricane Ridge Road at the town of Port Angeles. Follow signs towards Olympic National Park Hurricane Ridge entrance. In the next 17 miles, you'll be in for an adventure of a lifetime climbing from sea level to over 5,000 feet, a mile high in the sky. Here, we're only 30 miles from Canada. We're at the northwestern edge of the United States. Speaking of Canada, you can actually see the capital of British Columbia, Victoria, 30 miles away across the Straits of Juan de Fuca. Stop at Morse Creek Overlook for the best views to your left side when you're going uphill. The journey up the mountain is as grand as the summit. Dense alpine trees give way to sweeping views. No doubt you're in the Pacific Northwest. In the winter months, you're rewarded with a snow-dusted winterland, the result of Hurricane Ridge's fierce storms. Here's an uncut clip showing you the weather conditions changing as we go uphill, giving you an idea of what conditions you might expect on a winter day. A few more switchbacks and we are clear of the cloud deck and at the top, beautiful views surround us.
We're gonna do a little hike up here, just past the visitor center.
The summit is centered around the visitor lodge. You can find restrooms, maps, and rangers here. There's also a small ski slope behind you. In the summer, these trails extend miles into the surrounding ridges. In the winter, trails are usually unplowed, but the snow is compact enough to be passable. It's a great way to get closer to nature and away from the crowds. I totally recommend walking around and exploring a bit. Just use common sense and stay safe.
It's hard to believe we're only 5,000 feet above sea level. In California, where the snow level is much higher, this would be oak trees, rolling hills. But here, you feel like you're much higher in elevation. You got the glacial valleys, more rugged mountains.
Here's a closer look of the trail that we followed on the top of the ridge. Speak to a ranger at the visitor center or go to the national park link before a visit for more details.
Walking into the cloud.
Speaking of hiking and exploring, in the winter months, the park hours are shorter. Rangers do force you to leave the park at a certain time, usually around 4 p.m. Again, check the park website for specific times, but just a friendly reminder to budget your day properly when planning your day out here.
Road sign is buried pretty deep. Probably 6 feet of snow. We're on Cloud 9, high on life, high on Hurricane Ridge.
Hurricane Ridge truly is an island in the sky. The area in front of us is one of the last places to be mapped in the United States, largely unknown until 100 years ago. No roads have been built across this rugged range. The Olympic Mountains are truly one of the last remaining frontiers in our country. Let's talk geology to get a full appreciation of this park. The Olympic Mountains are not volcanoes like the Cascade Mountains to the east. The mountains are made of ancient underwater seafloor material called oceanic crust. So how did this seafloor become a large mountain range? As the Pacific Ocean subducts under the North American continent, it piles up, or uplifts like a crumple zone on a car crash. What was once an ancient ocean floor is lifted a mile out of the sea, forming new land on the western margins of Washington. This new land is what is now the Olympic Peninsula, with the massive Olympic Mountains forming its backbone. Incredibly, the same forces are still at work today. Under your feet, the mountains are still slowly rising. Our next stop, Lake Crescent. As we promised you in the beginning of the video, this is an incredible destination you don't want to miss. Carved out by a massive glacier in the last ice age, Lake Crescent rivals the beauty and steepness of Norwegian fjords and New Zealand's coastal inlets. If you have a chance, stay at Lake Crescent Lodge, the place where Teddy Roosevelt stayed on his visit to Olympic National Park. Walk around and soak in the beauty. There's no shortage of it. To get here, head back to Port Angeles at the end of Hurricane Ridge Road. An easy 30-minute drive and you're here at the lake. For adventurous viewers wanting more details about Lake Crescent and the wild Hoh Rainforest to the west, check out my other videos about Olympic National Park in the link below. And I hope this video was helpful for your trip planning. I know how stressful that could be.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this.